Hello, if you're picking up here and you haven't watched part one, maybe jump back and watch that part first where I kind of explain what I'm doing here. This is part two, basically talking about how Audi being a lifestyle brand and the A8 being not necessarily your average Honda Accord offers a little bit more beyond just a piece of transportation. So in part one, I talk about some of the literature that Audi printed either informationally or just commemoratively about the A8. Now I'm going to talk about some accessories and things that were either gifts to customers or things that you could purchase. And again, they have nothing to do with driving, but everything to do with how buying something that costs $140,000, $200,000 like an A8 W12 or an R8 comes with some perks. So I'm going to start first with a cool little notebook, and it's become more pertinent in a second. This is covered in vegan leather with embossed Audi rings, and this I believe was a gift to D4 owners. It is not only a calendar but also a journal, and there's also little things like conversions and different tables and that kind of thing. And tucked in here is some cool information and photographs about the D4W12. And in the very back there's several journal pages. There's cool information in here actually about the D4, talking about the Museum of Contemporary Art. There was a lot to do with the launch of the D4 and it being a very artistic car. Audi made a departure from a Bauhaus design philosophy, form follows function, into a little bit more of an emotional design. And you find that in the car where lines are a little bit more emotional and evocative instead of staid and reserved like you had in the D3. So cool information, and I picked this up because I needed something to write on with, and I've been collecting these, I have a lot of them, these. Porsche, you may or may not know, has a wholly owned subsidiary called Porsche Design. Basically, to my understanding, is, and now they're a little bit bigger than Audi, so in their Porsche Design realm, so they may not function the same way as Audi, but I believe to some extent it is the design teams for the actual models also design some industrial goods, and this can be anything. I mean, if you search Porsche Design, even back in the day, I used to be a huge BlackBerry fan. They would design phones. BlackBerry every year would do a special phone, and for 3 years it was Porsche Design who designed a couple of phones. Really cool phones. If you're into BlackBerries or tech or anything, Google Porsche Design BlackBerry. Very neat. But anyway, Audi themselves also have their own branch called Audi Design. It is painfully difficult to search for things that Audi Design has made because the search phrase Audi Design brings up a lot of things that have nothing to do with this little wholly owned subsidiary of industrial goods. So before I get into what I'm opening here, I will give a couple examples and some pictures I'll pop up on the screen that they have done before, because it is very varied. It ranges all the way from a foosball table, and I should grab my phone and check out these prices because I think that I've written down how much these cost. Bear with me, I'll probably just do a quick little cheeky edit. Okay, so I have a couple of items from their list, and I'm trying to gather every last thing that Audi Design offered for sale. So we have that foosball table that I said, 12,900 euros. There was some carbon fiber skis. I have not been able to find out the new price of those, but I did find a used set that I missed out on, not because they weren't too expensive for me to afford. They were like, I think they're asking like 3,000 euro or something like that. A lot, too much for me. There's also several watches, a handful of watches. Also a really cool desk clock, and I think I wrote the price down for that. It was something sick and ridiculous. It was at least 10,000 euro. But my favorite item that is just insane is they designed a baby grand piano. Probably the crazier part than Audi design making a grand piano was the fact that it was available at Costco for a reasonable bargain of $250,000. They've also done a chair. The chair was very cool. Slight tangent, I know, before I get into this, but the chair is especially cool. I've been looking for one, but they're very expensive. So the price is 6,350 euro new. It was designed. I don't remember the design. I'm into design. Not the point of this video, really. I will give more information to anyone that's interested. I can do a little video on it, especially this edition. Because the chair, made by Poltrona Frau, an Italian furniture maker and textiles. I don't know if they do any other textiles, but they're world renowned for their leathers. So it's made of this Agatha cognac leather. You can get it in different colors as well. But it's significant because in the D4 W12, Audi made a limited run of 50, what they called Audi exclusive concept A8 W12s, and they came with an entire interior trimmed in Poltrona Frau Agatha cognac leather. Very cool. It was a specific color to this car only, and then the tops of the door cards and the dash were a granite gray, I think it was, and then it had an olive ash upper inlay. The entire color scheme was specific to this run of 50 Audi exclusive A8 W12 concept cars. So anyway, that's kind of Audi design in a nutshell. So what I have gone through is and collected is namely number one, this box of 6 items, and they are pens. They were available as an accessory, and I think the price of each of them were roughly the same. There are 3 different versions. There is a ballpoint pen, a fountain pen, and what is called a shake pen, and I'll show you how that works in a second. They were all around 300 euro, which is insane. Well over 300 US dollars. So they are made of stainless steel, and they have a very cool clip that is spring loaded, and the tolerances are extremely tight. Again, I'll show you some B-roll footage, but the detail in these pens are really cool. The materials are obviously amazing, but little details like the Audi rings embossed on the cap, the spring-loaded clip, the way that I don't know the anatomy of pens very well, but where you place your fingers, it's machined just beautifully. There's a little bit of a divot to kind of cradle your fingers. Really comfortable to write with. They're not as heavy as you might think because they're very, very thin despite being made of stainless steel. And they come with standard cartridge that can be refilled. This is a Schmidt safety ceramic roller, non-dry refill. This is a medium, so that's what comes standard in there. And it's kind of neat to know that you can refill these and keep using them. I haven't looked up to see how much this refill is. I assume they would probably use really cool ink. I'm not really steeped in pens and that, but I know that some fountain pens and stuff can be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I'm assuming it's high quality, but anyway, the pens to feel and look at are very cool. So I've got a few of each kind. So I will go through and probably B-roll instead of showing you now because it's very difficult to see. Oh, I will show you how that shake pen works here real quick though. Which one is that? I think it's one of these. It's the only one that doesn't have a cap. So here we go. So the cap is affixed to the bottom. It is removable, but it's just to change the cartridge. So the nib is retracted, and then it's ready to use. And then to put it back in, shake it again. very cool. Neat concept. And there's a little instruction book on how to use it. I mean, obviously it's simple, but very cool, very neat. So anyway, Audi design, great. Tons of pens. Next on my list of Audi design goods, I have so many of these. Come over. This one is very interesting. The moment I saw it, I had to have it because it is probably the most over-the-top, crazy, insane things. If you guys have seen my Audi espresso maker video, you'll probably know that I love really over-the-top things. If you want one of these, good luck, because I have never found another one. This is the only one that I found I bought. So Audi design comes in a wooden case, which is very cool, felt-lined bottom. Audi design, that's probably screen printed on the front. It is a cigar punch, or a Zigarrenbohrer, as apparently it is called in Germany. This is the most, I don't even know what to call it, over-engineered, over-designed, over-the-top items I've ever come across tied to a car, except for the baby grand piano, which is laughable. This cigar punch is made of solid stainless steel, and the Audi design logo is laser etched into the front. It has two rifle action punches, one that is a larger diameter and one that is a smaller diameter. The bottom can be unscrewed for cleaning, and the tolerances that are machined into this are microscopic. It is so tightly toleranced. You can see machine marks, and it's very neat. The cap of the cigar punch is lined with felt on the inside inexplicably, which is amazing. Why would you even do that? Then around the edge is a little rubber O-ring to hold it in place, and there's a slot on the bottom that you can store the cap while you're using the punch, so it's not just floating around. This is very over the top, and I'm obsessed with it. The entire thing is disassemblable, if that is proper grammar. Probably not at all. So you just unscrew the little handle to the rifle action, and you can slide it out, and you can clean the whole thing. I've not taken the whole thing apart, but maybe I will for some photos just to show, because it is very neat. It's going to take me a second to put this back in, so maybe I'll just set it down. Yeah, I'll deal with that later. Okay, next we're going to take a break from Audi design because I have one other item. This, I don't know if it would have been a gift or what, but it is a little commemorative box with Audi A8L, I think. No, that's screen printed on the front. Again, Forspring Durch Technik on the corner. Open it up. It's a little magnetic aluminum flap. It's two very, very thin sheets of aluminum sandwiching plastic. So that's where the flexibility comes in here. It's an interesting design. I hope that it never fails. I try not to bend this very much. Inside, I am missing, sadly, a little USB that has A8 laser engraved on the front of it. It was, I think, press photos and that kind of thing. But it comes with two little models, the A8L W12 and the A8L. These are 1/87th models, and not quite to the level of detail as the model that comes with that 1 of 100 commemorative book, but at this scale, the detail is really silly. I'll open them up and show some B-roll footage right now. The fact that the wheels spin and you can see bits and pieces on the dash is just kind of amazing. The quality of the wheels and the seams and shut lines and headlights and taillights is really, really top notch. So I don't know what something like this would go for in the real world, but I think that some money was spent on these models. So I think, yes, the last item that I have for this video is another Audi design item. And I'm going to take a quick break so I can set it on the table. Okay, here's the last item. I barely fit on the table with this. So this fits a little bit more neatly with Audi's position of being a lifestyle brand and being more than just a car manufacturer. So this is one of a 3-piece set of luggage designed by Audi Design. It was available for purchase at the same time as the D4 A8W12. Comes in this, they all come in a very bright orange dust bag. For some reason I like the color. I'm not really a color guy very much. A neutral color guy, but here is a 400 euro weekender from that trio of 3 pieces of luggage. This is effectively a duffel bag, and it is made of silk nappa and Alcantara and bead blasted aluminum. These would be the exact same materials that you would find in the A8W12. So I'm going to show some B-roll footage and maybe some clips of it as I'm holding it here, but it is made of leather around this outer shell, and then these inset pieces are the Alcantara. And the aluminum details are very neat. It's a really simple architectural style bag. The strap handles go all the way around the bottom and act as feet along the bottom of the bag. And these little rectangle aluminum eyelets where the handle passes through are really neat. One of my favorite parts, after the little zipper grabs that are, again, very architectural, they're hollow, is the Audi Design and how this clasp works. So you press this little button on the bottom and it releases the clasp, and this is actually screwed to the panel of leather. It's very beautiful, and it's a very satisfying click when you close it. Same when you open it. Inside, once you flip the top section down, open up zippers on 2 sides, and then you can flip up the top of the bag. And then inside you have a dot bag. This is just nylon with Audi Design logo tag on the back, and then a Velcro closure. So it's a pretty normal dot bag. Little handle, plenty of space. And then buttoned to the inside is a, what would this be? Undergarment bag, they call it. So again, nylon, Audi Design logo tag, and then kind of like a normal standard zipper. Anyway, this is very cool, and I feel like Jason Statham or James Bond when I use this. I do use this. I use this anytime I'm going away for the weekend. It's very satisfying to put in the trunk of the car, and I'm probably making too much noise over my audio. It's very stylish. I like it. And I think that's what Audi Design were going for. So anyway, to recap, with my mountain of items sitting here, Audi has definitely positioned themselves to be more than just a car brand. They're a lifestyle brand. We see them in our pop culture. We see them with items in our everyday life, and they do a number of really crazy things. There's another brand that I enjoy that do produce industrial goods called Alessi, and they've had a number of partnerships for home goods like silverware, flatware, fruit bowls, crazy things, stuff that is completely and utterly unrelated to cars. But I've selected some of the things that I think are kind of the cooler things that maybe I would use, or they're just way too interesting to not buy. And so I hope you agree. I hope you've enjoyed this. If there are any questions about any of these items, it's hard to think of everything during these videos, and there's loads and loads of other goodies out there. Again, like I said in I think the first video, take a look. I forgot to recap that if anyone does want a copy of that commemorative book, I do have one left. It doesn't come with the crazy case or anything, but it's still a beautiful book. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a few more videos that aren't necessarily related directly to the driving, but if you're interested in, and I think you are if you're interested in Audi, the design aspect of things, I think you'll like these videos. In the next couple nights, I'm going to shoot one that is dedicated specifically to the Audi exclusive catalog. This would have been where you can spec your car off of the normal options list with color and materials for interior and exterior, and there's a lot when it comes to the A8. With the rest of the range, like the A3, you could do exterior colors, and then there were really limited options on the interior, like you could get a different insert color in the seat, or some of the elements for some generations of the trim on the inside were painted, and you could get different colors. As you move up the range, more and more customization is possible. By the time you get to the A8, you can go nuts. So anyway, that's enough blabbering for now. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you might want to see in addition to this. I'm going to try and dispel as much information. There's so much out there that's interesting without rambling and without producing things that no one's actually interested. So anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.